Hey there, before I get to the tutorial, I first want to talk about the strategy. If you haven't gone through and listened to my episodes on the Social Media Magic podcast about tripwires, I definitely recommend doing that first. And if you haven't joined Elizabeth Goddard's course already on tripwires for tripwire training, you definitely want to do that because everything I'm doing in this little mini playbook series supplements her course. It's assuming that you've already gone through it, that you have a basic fundamental understanding of what tripwires are, because otherwise, some of what I'm saying might not really make sense. So listen to those episodes and go get her course if you haven't already. If you need to, pause this video, go do that, and then go ahead and push play when you're back. Are you back? I'm gonna guess you are. Okay, so for TPT, this process is a little bit different because usually when we're talking about low ticket offers, quote unquote, in the online space, we're talking about something that's maybe $17, $27, $37, or $47. And when this is the case, we have to think kind of differently on TPT because for us, low ticket is $1, $2, $3. And maybe the high ticket is like 40, 50, maybe going up into the couple of hundreds if someone's getting a bundle for the whole year. So that means that we really need to be intentional and strategic and work backwards. So the first thing you're gonna do is go through your TPT dashboard and you're going to look at your product statistics. You're going to look for an item that converts really, really well. Usually, if you have an item converting above 5%, you might want to consider raising the price. But in this case, we're not going to do anything to the listing itself. Just go through, take a second, and find a resource that's converting at least 4 to 5% on the page. Okay, did you find that? Great. That is what we're going to start with. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build up a Tripwire offer, and we're going to work backwards. And we're gonna have our freebies and everything else leading up to that lead to this resource. I'm gonna show you one that I've worked through so you can see an example. And don't worry so much about aesthetics right now, it's just making sure we have a strategy down. We can always go back and refine later. Here we go. Okay, let's start with a general overview of lead pages, what it is, what it does, how it's gonna help you. So you get to choose what you want to start with as far as the pricing and the plans. I will tell you, I have the standard one. It is a little cheaper per month if you pay it all yearly. I decided to go monthly just because that's easier for me to keep track accounting wise, but you can see how much more it is if you pay monthly for each plan than if you pay yearly. So a couple things you want to point out about the plan that you choose, and by the way, you don't have to use lead pages. I'm going to be showing you how I do all the stuff with lead pages, but you might have a page builder software in your email service provider, like if you use ConvertKit or MailChimp or MailerLite, you might decide to use one of those instead. You can still take the same strategy in the copywriting and messaging that you see here, and then just use that kind of tech, okay? But if you're brand new and you're not sure what to do, lead pages is one setup. You can also use a program like ThriveCart, Kartra, ClickFunnels, or really a myriad of other ones. And you want to look ideally for one that offers a Tripwire or some kind of checkout process. If they offer order bumps, upsells, and downsells, even better. And if they offer a one-click upsell, even better. Now, Lead Pages does not offer a one-click upsell. And it's one of those things where if I was starting over again, honestly, I'd probably go for something like ThriveCart or Kartra if you're going to be doing a lot of this stuff, if you're going to be doing a lot of tripwires and a lot of funnels. But there are workarounds. So I'm going to show you if you already have lead pages, or if you're looking at lead pages, then how you can kind of work around that. I really like lead pages for the actual page building aspect. I think they make really clean, easy pages, and I think they're good for opt-ins and for freebies. And so just for where I'm at right now with my business, it makes sense to use them because I already know how to. But if I was starting over and if you're starting from scratch, you might want to look at one of the funnel builders. So you can see here with what you choose, the standard one, which is what I have, you have all the email host or the lead page hosting, lead notifications, and stuff like that. You have a lot of integrations you can do, so you can actually set it up so that when they take certain actions on your lead pages, it like automatically signs them up onto your email list, gets them into a certain welcome sequence. Maybe it triggers like a course platform you have, like on Teachable, MemberVault, Thinkific, any of those, there's so many, that when they sign up for this one thing, they get access to a course or a program and they get an email. There's so many things you can do. So when we're talking about integrations, that's what we're talking about. And there are a lot included in the standard. If you want to start getting into unlimited A/B testing, like you want to see which freebie copy is converting better, things like that, then you might want to get the premium one. And this one also just has more options, like even the payment. Like, let's see, where is it? Right here. Yeah, online sales and payment. So that's something to keep in mind. If you are specifically going to use lead pages to create tripwires where they can actually pay on the page itself, then you're probably going to want to upgrade to the pro account. But again, there are workarounds. So I just wanted to go over kind of an overview of pricing. Obviously, pricing can change. This is another company, so when you're watching this video, always go and check whatever you're seeing here against what's actually happening, because that could be outdated. So before we get into the whole opt-in actually building with lead pages or any other kind of platform, I want to say that if you want to do this the super scrappy way and you want to get it done quickly and then worry about upping your game later, the easiest, quickest way to create a tripwire funnel from a freebie is just to link the product. But the first thing you actually want to do is pick the product that you want to sell as your tripwire. So what I did is I went to my product statistics and I sorted it by earnings from the top to bottom, and I'm just looking for an item that has a high conversion rate that I can know that, okay, if they come to this page, since people are coming to this page on search and they're converting, this would be a good one to link. So my highest conversion rate actually is not this one, but this one has the highest earnings and a pretty high conversion rate. In fact, if your conversion rate's this, you might want to consider raising the price. I might want to do that. But this is a math fact fluency tracker. In fact, I actually did just raise the price, so I'm kind of seeing right now how that works. This is $4, and I could just take this link and link it as the next page that they go to after they get the freebie. Since this is a math fact fluency tracker, goal setting sheets, and multiplication chart, there's kind of three things in there, right? And you can kind of see when you flip through, you get a sense of like, okay, they're getting this multiplication chart, they're also getting all of these different things to practice. Separately, I also have a multiplication chart, and you can't see it on here, but that is a freebie. So since I have my multiplication chart as a freebie, this would be a really natural tripwire. So I'm actually going to set it up with you right now. I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to go into lead pages. I'm going to find that multiplication chart freebie, and I'm going to link this as the tripwire offer. They're going to go to this next. It doesn't necessarily mean that when they get to this page, they're going to buy it, but because they're automatically going to go to that once they opt in for the multiplication chart, it's kind of a natural next progression. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm in here in the lead pages dashboard. I'm going to use the search bar and just type in chart. Okay, and right here I have my free multiplication chart timetable printable PDF. I have a few different ones. We're going to go to this one first, and I'm just going to edit that. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the destination. So if you were creating a separate lead pages page that you want them to go to as a tripwire, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. You would make it go to that. But I'm going to make it go to this product. So I'm going to go to the actual opt-in form. I'm going to click on Edit Integrations. And right there, I'm figuring out what I want for it to do. So you can see for integrations, I'm going to get a notification that someone was added to my list on this email, because I have more than one email associated with this account. You don't have to do that. Like if you don't want to get all those emails, you can turn it off. I also have it set up so that when they opt in, they're going to automatically get onto my newsletter. Now, what I would recommend, this is something I'm working on too, is setting up an individual welcome sequence that they go through, because you'll have those multiple opportunities to kind of show them who you are, to show them your extra content, like your YouTube videos, your podcast episodes, etc. And you'll have an extra opportunity to sell your individual products as well as any bundles you have going on. So that would be really wise to have. If you already have a welcome sequence, you want to think, do I have a welcome sequence that makes sense for this freebie, that the journey I'm taking them on through that sequence would start with this? I don't have that set up yet. So I just have it set up to do with my newsletter. And that's still better than nothing, even though they're going to probably get some random email and say, like, who was this girl? So if you do have a welcome sequence, that's best practice. But what I want to pay attention to, if we're just doing the scrappy, quickest, simplest version, because if you're sharing this freebie, why not give them a sale after that? We're going to click on actions and see how it says external URL. So right now I have this post to go directly to my Facebook group, which is good in a way because they're getting that extra touch point with me. But you see, what else I could do is, if I have in my product pages on TPT asking them to join my Facebook group, they're going to get that other chance anyway. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to paste the product link I just had. Now, another thing you can do is, if you want to track how this is going, you could set up a UTM code, and I'll actually show you how to do that real quick in case you don't know. So since I've already copied the product listing, I'm gonna go to my store. I am gonna go to my dashboard. I almost forgot how to do it, it's been a while. Okay, I'm gonna go to traffic, there we go, and then URL builder, and they did just recently change this. So URL builder, I'm going to put the URL right here. You can also click select product and search for it if you want, where it's gonna be. So I'm saying on my multiplication chart tripwire, and this is good because if you're putting the same product on multiple tripwires, you can actually see which one's gonna work better, right? So for this campaign name, I'm gonna put the date. So today's date is the 19th. I'm gonna click generate, and now I'm gonna copy this link and go back to the other page, and I'm gonna paste that link into the external URL. Simply click save and close, and then go to update. So if you already have a freebie that you're driving traffic to, especially maybe you're sharing it in Facebook groups, you have it posted on all your social pages, you're sharing it when you're a guest on podcasts and in Facebook groups and things like that, this is a no-brainer. This is the easiest low-tech option. You can also, of course, lead this to another lead page. So let's show you how to do that. We're gonna go back to Edit Integrations and then the Actions tab. And instead of doing a external URL, we can go to Landing Page. And that will let you choose one of the other pages you've made. Now, if you haven't made a Tripwire page yet, then it won't make sense. Probably just wanna take it to your direct TPT product. But we're just gonna go ahead and pick one of these so you can see what it looks like in person. So let's just say this was to my mini marketing mastermind, and we'll do save and close, and we'll do a preview. So you can see what it looks like when they opt in. I actually don't know if the preview will work, but let's just see. Okay, great. So you see what happened? I just put in my name and email, and it directly took me to this mastermind. Okay, so that wouldn't make so much sense coming from a multiplication chart, but if it was maybe an opt-in about marketing or about what I did as a teacher, influencer, creator, whatever, then it would make sense. So you do want to make sure that the freebie leading to your low ticket product, and if you're doing a more complete funnel build out than whatever your high ticket product is you're leading to, you want to make sure they all make sense and that they're on the same kind of customer journey. And you might have more than one journey that you're technically leading your customers through, and that's okay, but you do want to make sure those freebies and products match. Simple and sweet is the name of the game here. So what I would recommend is if you are going to set up a Tripwire with lead pages, or really with any funnel builder inside of a freebie you already have, I would just duplicate that page and then work from it. So we're going to click on these three little dots, duplicate, and we're going to just call this same name and then add a Tripwire at the end, just so when I'm looking at the dashboard, I know that this is the Tripwire page, not the freebie page. That's important because you don't want to accidentally link the wrong ones. So for this, they've already opted in, so we have to think, where are they? They just got their multiplication chart. So now we're gonna ask if they want this other thing, right? Like I have this math fact fluency tracker so students can figure out like what they're gonna work on next. And so I'm gonna want to sell that here on this page. So instead of having an email one, I'm gonna delete that. And then I might want to go over here to widgets, and if you have the pro account, you can actually put a checkout on the page. Now I don't have the pro account, so it's not going to let me, but you can do that right there, or again, you can just link the other thing. So let's see the workarounds we have for that. So I did figure out a workaround in lead pages. What you would do if you don't have the pro account is you're going to add in the HTML box. In here, I've added in an HTML from my PayPal account that will take them to a checkout page. There are a few different ways to set up a checkout page, but what I did was I went into my account settings, I have to log back in, and there's a few different ways to make buttons. The only problem is that most of them won't actually direct you to the actual item they're buying at the end, so you have to be able to do that. So if I go to website payments, I can manage buttons here, manage payment buttons, okay, update, and then you can click any one of these. The only problem again is like, okay, here, if we go to buy now, it's going to give you all these options and they look super nice, but they don't always process. Okay, it is taking me to the right one. So this is the one I set up, and I put in the item price, the item name, the price. I kept the name the exact same title as on TPT. I didn't do any of this really. I kept all that the same. Okay, oh, actually one other part for step one is I made it so that they would see my email. So when they buy something from me, they know it's from this email because they would have known that most likely. There isn't really inventory for us to track, so you don't really have to do anything with that. This is important though. You want to make sure, at least I would recommend, that you have this to know. You don't really want your customers adding special messages to you or taking special requests. I would say that you want to make sure you have an email or a page to where people go after they check out. So what I did is I actually uploaded my products to Google Drive, and then I'm just sharing the direct link from that Google Drive product to this link. So once they pay, they go to this link, that box is checked. This one says take customers to this URL when they finish. Oh, sorry, excuse me. This is where I put that one, okay? So this is where they go for their Google Drive. If they cancel their checkout, I actually put the TPT resource on there. So if they don't buy it on my site with PayPal or Lead Pages or wherever, then they're going to go here, and then they have that extra chance to convert, which could happen. Like maybe they're getting frustrated for some reason, the checkout page isn't working and they don't complete it, or they can't log in, or for whatever reason, then they're going to get taken to this page. And I know this page converts pretty well, so they'll be able to get the resource there. Okay. Once you have it the way that you want it, you're going to click create button. And then this is the code that you're going to do. So you're going to select code, you're going to click Control-C copy, you go back to the lead pages, click on the HTML box, paste it in there, click save, and then update. And then that's how you have this. So let's look at the preview version of this. I did update it a little bit just to put the product cover photo. And again, this is not going to be the final version, but because one thing I don't like is that you can't really customize the way this one looks. There is another place to go to the PayPal buttons that I went to earlier, but it's not really worth showing to you because the problem is it looks good and they can do a checkout on the page. Like if you go to PayPal checkout in your regular business dashboard, you should be able to find it. But the problem is they don't have a way, at least that I know of, that you can set up that they will go to the product afterward. And that is a really important piece because we don't want for someone to take an action on this page and they pay and then they're like, where's my thing? Right? Because then you have someone who's unhappy, and we want people to be happy after they buy things from us. So I would recommend doing what I just did to be able to get your PayPal button. And then you'd be good to go there. And I will say this took me some Googling because it's been so while since I even played with the PayPal buttons. And the one piece I could never figure out was how to get them from the page they're on now to another page. And that's in those settings I just showed you. So make sure that you have the right URL for where they go when they're done paying, and then the other right URL for when they cancel the payment. And I would recommend taking them directly to your TPT product, or if you have a web shop like on WooCommerce or Ecwid, that you would take them to the resource on that page if you are selling them there. So that way you have another chance at making the sale. And that's pretty much it. That is your basic Tripwire. If you have any questions about it, you can add in the comments below. If I don't get back to you, then one of my team members will. And yeah, let me know how it goes. If you try it, I'd love it if you'd come back and tell me, or you can send me a DM on Instagram and let me know over at Brittany or Lemme. Bye for now.